Alicia, roads looking good. We're seeing our first incident in northwest Indiana this morning, although all of your area roads look very good. That crash is in East Chicago. It's at Kennedy. Thanks so much, Alicia. Only one issue right now on your Chicago area expressways, but traffic's starting to build pretty normally if you are heading inbound. Here's that trouble spot on the outbound Stevenson right at Lakeshore Drive. There's some debris on the road there. Hopefully should be cleared out of the way in the next 10 minutes or so. And just north of there, Sacramento and Diversey, we are watching an accident at this intersection. Now, I do want to head to our first issue of the morning in Indiana. It's in East Chicago at Kennedy Avenue and Lakeshore Drive, but things have been relatively clear down in northwest Indiana today. Now let's head outside and take a look at our Alicia, it is time to talk spring construction. It might not feel like spring, but a lot of new projects kicked off this week. Here's one. First Avenue, all traffic moving into the northbound lanes. This will take until next Monday. They're closing down that whole southbound side as well as your southbound ramps. So do be prepared to see this happening throughout the next couple days. They're going to do some bridge improvements in the area through Halloween, so that traffic will all be on the northbound side. You'll be one lane in each direction. Also mentioned a little bit about this yesterday, but in case you missed it, here it is again in Bensonville. Irving Park Road is now closed between York and South Access Road for the next 4 months at least after some semi-trucks damaged a brand new railroad bridge. So the detour will be York to Toohey, Higgins to Manheim if you're headed eastbound. Westbound, just flip that direction and head backwards, Manheim, Higgins, Toohey to York. Now let's head outside, take a look at some of our starting to build this morning, and with those wet roads, that means accidents are happening. Devon and Ridge, new crash with a car hitting a taxi in that area, and another one in East Chicago at Kennedy and Lakeshore Drive. I'll have a closer look at your roads and your drive times coming up. Alicia, traffic is starting to build across the board this morning with some of your area expressways seeing speeds in the teens. We're looking at 17 miles. Alicia, things really starting to slow down on your roads, and we have a new crash. It's on the outbound Ford at 159th Street. Little delay coming up on this inbound direction on the Ford here. Also some slick road conditions because of that wet weather we saw this morning. Another issue at Devon and Ridge where a car and a cab had a little run-in at that intersection. And now I want to head down south to Madison. There's a big construction project that kicked off this week. It's on Lincoln Highway, that's US 30, one lane each way. They've cut off all the rest of traffic, as well as the shoulders on northbound and southbound I-57. They've closed those down. They're doing some bridge improvements through May of this year, so do keep an eye out for that over the next couple months. Now I want to head outside, give you a look at Alicia, wet conditions causing trouble on your roads and traffic building pretty normally with a couple extra slow spots we don't usually see. But up in Waukegan, a different kind of problem. Flashing lights at the intersection of Sheridan and Washington Street. This is a big intersection, so do look out for this. They are flashing red. Also watching this crash in the inbound Ford with delays at 159th, and as you head up on the Ford, you can see some major delays as you come into the merge. One more accident, Devon and Ridge. This is in Rogers Park, where a car and a taxi struck each other at this intersection. Now I want to give you a look outside. We've got, all right, Alicia, just watching a couple issues on your roads up in Waukegan. Don't forget about the flashing red lights. That's at Sheridan and Washington, and an accident on the outbound Ford at 159th should be cleared out of the way here. And before we get to your drive times, I do want to remind you, since it's spring, construction season has kicked off, and like Alicia mentioned, lots of fog today. So please keep a close eye out. There will be construction workers on the roads, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe, including the drivers and the workers. Now heading